Some of the most powerful tools in healing are not machines, medications, or procedures. Sometimes, the greatest acts of courage happen with a pen and a blank page. Journaling may seem simple, almost too ordinary to make a difference. But for someone undergoing chemotherapy and navigating recovery, it becomes much more than writing. It becomes a lifeline, a confidant, a safe space, and a way to reclaim control in a world that feels unpredictable. Journaling is a quiet rebellion against fear, fatigue, and uncertainty. It's a place where your thoughts can be poured out without judgment. A place where your emotions, however messy or contradictory, are honored. It's a tool that empowers you to process, reflect, release, and even celebrate small victories during one of the most difficult journeys a person can face. A safe space for unfiltered emotion. Chemotherapy is not just physically exhausting, it's emotionally draining. Fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, and uncertainty often swirl inside, unrelenting. Journaling offers a place to acknowledge these feelings honestly, without worrying about how they sound, who might read them, or whether they are acceptable. Writing about your fear doesn't make it worse, it makes it visible. Seeing it on paper allows you to separate yourself from it. You start to notice patterns, triggers, and moments of relief. Journaling gives you permission to express anger toward treatments, frustration at the way life has changed, or sorrow for moments you once took for granted. The page doesn't interrupt, argue, or dismiss your feelings. It simply receives them, offering an unparalleled sense of safety. Processing the chaos. Chemotherapy is chaotic. Appointments, treatments, side effects, scans, and unexpected symptoms can make life feel like a constant storm. Journaling helps you process that chaos in a structured, intentional way. By writing down what happened each day, you create clarity out of confusion. You capture the highs, the lows, the small triumphs, and the setbacks. Even simple entries like noting when a treatment was completed, how your body responded, and how you felt emotionally can reveal patterns. Over time, journaling transforms overwhelming experiences into narratives you can understand and learn from. It's a gentle method of regaining perspective amid a whirlwind of uncertainty. A tool for reflection and growth. Chemotherapy doesn't just test the body, it tests the mind, the spirit, and resilience. Journaling becomes a mirror, reflecting not only what you are experiencing, but who you are becoming. Through regular entries, survivors often notice subtle transformations. Perhaps they write about enduring a tough treatment without breaking down. Maybe they capture a moment of laughter after a long day. They may note their ability to accept help or rediscover gratitude in tiny details. These reflections are reminders that even during the most painful experiences, growth is possible. Journaling encourages survivors to document progress, not just the physical milestones, but emotional and psychological ones too. When days feel dark, rereading past entries can reveal resilience you may have forgotten. Tracking symptoms and side effects. One of the practical benefits of journaling during chemotherapy is keeping a record of symptoms, side effects, and overall well-being. Recording nausea, fatigue, headaches, mood fluctuations, or changes in appetite can help both you and your medical team understand how your body is responding to treatments. Patterns may emerge that indicate triggers, relief strategies, or times of day when symptoms are better or worse. A journal becomes a personal log that empowers survivors to communicate effectively with doctors. It gives them a sense of agency in a process that can otherwise feel entirely out of their control. Tracking this information daily provides reassurance, insight, and a measurable record of progress. Releasing emotional tension. Writing is inherently cathartic. Chemotherapy often leaves survivors carrying emotions that are heavy, unspoken, and sometimes overwhelming. Journaling acts as a pressure release valve. Each sentence, each paragraph, each page can carry away a fraction of the tension you've been holding inside. Anger at the diagnosis, frustration at side effects, fear about the future, grief over lost routines. When these emotions are poured onto paper, they become something external, something you can observe rather than be consumed by. Journaling transforms the invisible weight into something tangible that can be released, examined, and managed, strengthening mental clarity. Mental fog and chemo brain. are common side effects of treatment. Survivors often report difficulty focusing, remembering details, or organizing thoughts. Journaling combats this in subtle but powerful ways. The act of writing exercises the mind, engages memory, and forces attention to detail. Over time, it can help survivors regain a sense of mental clarity and confidence in their cognitive abilities. Even short, structured journaling prompts like noting 3 things that went well today or listing steps you need to take for treatment can reduce anxiety and increase focus. The page becomes a tool to navigate mental fatigue with intention, building gratitude and positive reinforcement. Chemotherapy can make everyday life feel heavy, but journaling offers a method to find light in small places. Many survivors use journals to record moments of gratitude. A sunny morning, a comforting cup of tea, a kind word from a nurse, a day with reduced pain, or even a smile from a stranger. Writing gratitude daily strengthens the brain's ability to recognize positives, even during hardship. This shift in perspective doesn't diminish the reality of the struggle. It simply allows survivors to notice moments of hope and strength they might otherwise overlook. Tracking emotional triggers and coping mechanisms. Survivors learn, often through journaling, that emotions are not random. Certain treatments, times of day, or external stressors may provoke anxiety, sadness, or irritability. Journaling helps map these triggers and explore effective coping mechanisms. By recording what works, breathing exercises, meditation, short walks, supportive phone calls, survivors build a personalized toolkit that strengthens their emotional resilience. This process transforms journaling from a passive activity into an active strategy for self-care. It helps survivors anticipate challenges, prepare responses, and feel more in control of their emotional landscape. Creative expression and personal empowerment. Journaling is also a space for creativity. Poetry, sketches, letters to oneself, or even unsent messages to loved ones become ways to process the unspoken. Chemotherapy can make life feel sterile and clinical, but creative journaling reintroduces personal agency and self-expression. Survivors reclaim a sense of identity beyond illness. Their journal becomes a canvas for hope, reflection, and individuality. Creative journaling fosters empowerment. By choosing what to include, how to express it, and when to revisit it, survivors regain a sense of authority over their lives, counteracting the helplessness that treatment can sometimes impose. Documenting the journey for perspective. Looking back at journal entries allows survivors to witness their own growth. Pages filled with fear and uncertainty gradually give way to notes of perseverance, small victories, and moments of joy. Revisiting the journey helps survivors appreciate how far they've come, even when progress feels imperceptible day to day. This perspective is not just motivational, it's transformative. Journaling captures the narrative of survival, reminding survivors that they are active participants in their healing. Each written page becomes evidence of strength, courage, and resilience. Journaling as a mindfulness practice. The act of journaling itself is inherently mindful. Focusing on the pen, the paper, and the words encourages survivors to slow down, pay attention, and be present. Even a few minutes spent journaling during chemotherapy or recovery allows survivors to center themselves, release anxiety, and cultivate calm. Mindfulness through journaling also helps survivors tune in to subtle sensations, noticing fatigue without judgment, acknowledging emotions without panic, and observing their thoughts rather than being overwhelmed by them. This heightened awareness strengthens both emotional and physical coping skills. Journaling as a communication tool. Not all feelings can be expressed verbally, and sometimes loved ones don't know how to help. Journaling can bridge that gap. Some survivors share entries with family members or caregivers to convey emotions that are difficult to voice. Others write letters that may never be sent, but provide emotional release and understanding. In this way, journaling strengthens relationships and reduces the isolation that often accompanies chemotherapy. It communicates experiences in a deeply personal, structured, and safe manner. Guided journaling for structure and support. For survivors unsure where to start, guided prompts can be powerful. Questions like, what is one small victory I experienced today? How did my body respond to treatment today? What is one thing I am grateful for? What emotion is most present right now, and why? What can I do tomorrow to honor my healing journey? Even a few minutes responding to guided prompts fosters reflection, clarity, and empowerment. Survivors gain insight, reduce stress, and find a sense of rhythm in an otherwise unpredictable journey. The long-term benefits beyond recovery. Journaling doesn't end when chemotherapy or treatments do. Survivors continue to benefit as they navigate long-term recovery. Journals document emotional growth, self-care practices, and coping strategies that remain valuable long after treatments end. They provide a roadmap for future challenges, a reminder of resilience, and a touchstone for mindfulness and gratitude. A completed journal is more than a book. It's a companion, a teacher, and a testament to survival. Journaling is not a cure. It doesn't replace treatment or medicine, but it gives survivors something equally vital: a voice, a mirror, a sanctuary, and a record of courage. It transforms overwhelming emotions into clarity, isolation into connection, and uncertainty into empowerment. Every written word is a step toward reclaiming control, building resilience, and nurturing hope. For those undergoing chemotherapy and recovery, journaling becomes a quiet but profound act of self-love and survival. It reminds survivors that even in the hardest moments, they have a safe place where they are heard, seen, and validated one page at a time. And so, if you are walking this journey, take a pen, open a page, begin. Because in your words lies your strength, your reflection, and your path toward healing.